Every time you make all those noises when we say they go Rango.
Rango?
Yeah.
Wait. The
chameleon.
Johnny Depp, right?
Yeah, Johnny Depp. Rah, rah. He just doesn't like. Have you ever seen Rango?
I've never seen Rango.
Oh, he's a chameleon obsessed with acting.
Okay. I feel like we've talked about this before, though.
That's why he like ends up becoming, because he, it's like the part of a lifetime to become the cowboy.
He wants to be a cowboy.
No, he just ends up in this town, like a western town, and they need a new sheriff, so he makes him he lies himself into being the sheriff. And yeah, you should actually, speaking of like meta movies, you should probably watch that movie.
Hey, cool. Why don't you lead us in?
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is
Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, God, you startled me. Actually, you kind of did, but that was a delayed reaction.
Welcome back to TJ's Mixtape.
Hey.
Welcome.
I hope everyone's doing good out there. This week is Review Week. Review. Sorry, that was so annoying. All right, anyway, so yeah, we decided to go into the meta realm, and also we realized we haven't done a lot of well, I guess we just did a 90s movie last week, didn't we? What did we do last week?
Mimic.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know.
Well, it wasn't last week, it was 2 weeks ago. But yeah, okay. Sticking in the realm of the 90s, and we wanted to go into some Schwarzenegger stuff and whatnot, and we decided on there's no the in the name. It is just
Last Action Hero.
With so many one-liners. I love this movie.
This summer, the action movie of the summer. Arnold Schwarzenegger is Hamlet. Little tortilla boy.
Okay.
These are my tortillas.
I forgot about that joke.
What was it? Pablo. Credit to Pablo Francisco.
Yeah.
Francisco. Yeah.
All right. So Last Action Hero is what we're going into today.
Sorry, delayed.
All right. So back over here on Last Action Hero. Let's see. On IMDb, it's got a 6.4 rating.
Released June 18th, 1993.
Yes. Its premiere was on the 13th, which I got confused for a minute. I kept looking at the 13th and 18th, and I was like, how can it be released on two separate days? I'm like, wait, there's a premiere. That's right, there's premieres. Yeah, I wasn't really. I was in a place.
Well, this movie's in a place.
Yeah, it is. Where it was number 26 in box office, worldwide and domestic. And well, I mean, the worldwide and domestic just really isn't much of a difference between the two for this year, except for and the reason why this movie is number 26 is because the number one movie was Jurassic Park, and they came out a week apart from each other.
Yeah.
There's actually fun. We'll get into that, but yeah, there's a little fun history about that as well.
Yeah, Jurassic Park, Mrs. Doubtfire, The Fugitive, The Firm, and Sleepless in Seattle were the 5.
You know that Sleepless in Seattle was not filmed in Seattle?
Nothing's filmed in Seattle that takes place in Seattle.
Back in the 90s, early 90s, the stuff there was
fucking Chronicle. That movie, I love that movie, but it irritates the shit out of me.
That was filmed in Vancouver.
Yeah, but it takes place in Seattle. The only scene is the Space Needle scene.
Yeah.
Where is that giant Native American statue in Seattle? It's
nowhere.
Nowhere.
It's not. No,
that's
it's
not
Vancouver.
A thing. That's not a thing.
No, actually, it'd be a fun movie to do, but I can't remember the name of it. But it has Chris Cornell in it and other people.
Wow.
I think Bridget Fonda maybe. But it's about early young 20s and city kids of Seattle.
Oh,
but yeah, I can't remember the name of it, but it's good. Anywho, we're talking about Last Action Hero. Instead, why did I go Sean Connery weirdly there?
Weirdly.
Why don't you give us your 10-word synopsis or Tommy synopsis?
I was like, it hasn't been 10 words for a minute.
No, it hasn't.
Young boy finds golden ticket with magic. Sorry.
It's every time I think of the golden ticket, I just think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That's what I just did.
Yeah, I know, but the grandpa is gets out of bed, all of a sudden he's no longer crippled and dying.
That's actually one of my favorite scenes.
When he gets out of the bed and dances.
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it, Grandpa! Couldn't you be going to work this entire time? We're starving.
Grandpa Joe. Young boy finds golden ticket with magic. I wrote this wrong. I wrote young boy finds golden ticket with magic ticket. Young boy finds
Tell me more about this young boy, Tommy.
golden ticket with magic powers that transfer him into a world of lethal weapon on crack.
Yeah. Yes, it's true. Did you see why I like this movie, though?
As soon as I looked at the director, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Check.
Well, I mean, it's more the writer. I mean, all of it. But also, it was interesting to do the research into that. And we'll talk about that after we go through some stuff as well.
And just to kind of a little bit of a backtrack, I just want to point out to everyone. So this movie came out in 1993.
Indeed.
Its budget was $85 million. That is fucking insane.
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. And then it grossed 137 million worldwide. But
it makes me wonder, like, a lot of those cameos and I mean, watching this movie is like the size of this movie.
I'm blown away Donald Trump isn't in it. No, seriously, for this era?
I see what you're saying, but the only parts of New York of this movie is it's in the slummy area of New York, and Donald Trump wouldn't be part of that.
No, but the premiere.
Oh, at the premiere. Oh, but it's in Los Angeles still.
Yeah, but
Trump is he's weird about his fucking.
He's in Little Rascals.
Yeah, I don't.
That's not New York.
No, it's not. But I mean, I don't. Let's not worry about that.
I just thought like if anything, I was waiting for a Donald Trump
cameo.
New York City, big premiere. Fucking Little Richard's in this movie, so like
yeah,
random ass people are in this movie. So I just was like, I was very surprised that Donald Trump wasn't involved in that because this is also the era. This is like. Little Rascals.
But I mean, a lot of
Home Alone 2.
A lot of Donald Trump's cameos come from him forcing himself into it, not people reaching out for him to be into it. Like all the cameos in like in Home Alone 2, he's only in that movie because it's filmed in the Trump Tower. And if you do if you film something in the Trump Tower, by contract you're supposed to have a cameo or him part of the movie.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, sorry. That was a random Donald Trump tangent.
Fucking Donald Trump.
But yeah, sorry. $85 million. That's crazy for 1983. I meant to look up the inflation, what that would be now, but I forgot to do that.
A lot.
A lot. Like, this was like an Avengers level.
Like, a lot.
Like an Avengers level budget going on right here.
A lot.
Okay, move on. That's driving me nuts.
Yeah, that's why I was doing it. Anyhow, all right. So yeah, so it was directed by John McTiernan, who is known for directing wonderful movies like Die Hard and Die Hard 3, Die Hard with a Vengeance.
I didn't realize there were a different director for the second one, but it makes sense because how different the second one feels.
Yeah, the second one is strangely more over the top.
Yeah, like it's
like when they're fighting on the wing of the plane.
Yeah, it's just a very different feel to it.
He also directed Predator with, Arnie Schwartzy.
No, Arnie Schwartzy, that's what we're calling him for now.
13th Warrior. Do you have any other plugs you want to get in there?
I would 13th Warrior because I've been trying to convince you to do that one for a while.
Yeah, it's just I try to avoid. I want to avoid like actually good movies. You know what I mean? And I feel like 13th Warrior is actually a really good movie.
I don't know anymore.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't watched it in a long time.
That's true. But yeah, I just like wrote down the ones that I remember seeing.
Hunt for Red October.
Hunt for Red October. Yeah, I haven't seen that actually though.
You never seen Hunt for Red October?
I haven't. No.
Oh, that's crazy.
Medicine Man. I remember watching Medicine Man when I was a kid with my mom because my mom thought Sean Connery was hot.
Sean Connery was hot.
In the 90s when he's all, I don't know.
He's always hot. He was a hot old guy.
Dude, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen is starting to get getting a little up there in years.
What are you talking about? What's his name? What's his name in that?
Which one?
John McClane. That's not right.
Oh, you're talking about from
League. God, that movie's terrible.
That movie's you see, I'll do that movie.
Do you want to do that movie?
Yeah, we'll do it at some point.
That'd be fun.
All right.
And Rollerball.
Oh yeah, he does the remake of Rollerball. Thomas McTiernan, he actually kind of has John McTiernan. Sorry, McTiernan. Jeez.
First thing I thought you were calling me Thomas. I was like, that's weird.
He doesn't really have a huge directing credit, but also this movie kind of put a weird PTSD into his life. Like one of the articles I found was from like Empire Online, and like it talks a lot about like the interesting stuff that happened in behind the scenes of this movie, which leads into the 4 different writers that we have on this movie.
Yeah, there's a lot of writers on this.
Well,
a lot of drama with it.
Yeah, and 2 of them are the 2 that are there's 2 that are just put it on as story, but they had a screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
And then 2 more that are just put down as screenplay writers. So 2 people that are credited, that's the word I was looking for, credited for story are Adam Leff and Zach Penn. Both of them together worked on high school college comedy movie, a PCU, that has John Favreau in it, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Jeremy Piven, that's what I was trying to remember. Adam Leff also kind of like for writing credit, the biggest one I saw other than PCU was Biodome with Pauly Shore and Stephen Baldwin. I love that movie.
I love Pauly Shore.
Yeah, same.
Leaning Tower of Jesus.
Zach Penn also...
That's a lot of shit, actually.
Yeah, no, actually, this movie kind of like launched his career a little bit.
Yeah, and it's like with this, watching this, like kind of like as an early thing, and then looking at the rest of it, you're like, oh, okay, I can very much feel you have a style, a very specific style.
And it was very much from Adam Leff and Zach Penn that they wanted to do this like meta deconstruction idea of an action movie. So that's why this movie is kind of over the top, and that's, I mean, why I like it. But Zach Penn, you would recognize, he's also been writer for like Inspector Gadget, X-Men 2, and The Last Stand. So like the original X-Men series, the Avengers movie, Ready Player One, and most recently came out Free Guy. He was a writer, screenplay writer on Free Guy, which makes sense as well. And
he did Incredible Hulk, and one I kind of really weird that stands out to me is Behind Enemy Lines.
He was probably just like a script doctor or something.
I don't know, but that's a great movie. If you're looking for a sniper versus sniper World War II movie,
that's it.
That's it. Jude Law.
I don't think I've seen that, actually.
Yeah, it's like he's a Russian. I think he's Russian. Is he Russian? No, there's a Russian is he Russian? I don't remember if he is or not. Anyways, but Jude Law plays a sniper for the Allied forces that is going toe to toe with the Third Reich's top sniper. And they're like hunting each other, and it's fucking intense. What is the bad guy's name? I can't think of anything he's in. Oh, the general from The Rock.
Oh,
what the fuck is that guy's name?
Oh, Thomas Harris.
Harris, yeah, Harris. Yeah, Harris is right. That guy. Holy shit, I'm totally...
Ed Harris.
Ed Harris. Yes. Yeah. God damn, I love you. But Ed Harris plays the Nazi sniper, and they are. It's a really cool cat and mouse kind of thing. You should check that out. That's a really good one.
So going into the other 2 writers that were teamed on it was Shane Black and David Arnott. Shane Black, one of my favorites, writer for Lethal Weapon 1 and 2-ish.
That was actually a total accident. my synopsis, the Lethal Weapon thing. I forgot about that.
Oh, really?
That was a total accident.
Oh, I thought that was like very on the nose with how on the nose this.
No, that was meta by accident.
Yeah. I mean, but also I feel like even like the hiring of these people is meta by accident as well.
Yeah.
And also he wrote Monster Squad, which is one of my favorites. Actually, there's an entire documentary about Monster Squad being a cult hit when Shane Black's like in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because like he was trying to get Monster Squad made for a minute, and then went and did Lethal Weapon, and then was like, oh, now I can make Monster Squad.
I can do that now.
Also some of one of Tommy's and I's favorites, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Love that movie.
Which is very much in the same realm in a weird way, meta. Well, it's more of just like a comedy. It's a noir,
dark comedy noir.
Yeah. And one of my personal favorites, The Nice Guys.
That's with
Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
Dude, you need to watch that.
It's one of those ones you've been trying to get me to watch. I just haven't gotten around to.
Ryan Gosling is fucking so good. He's just like this horrific alcoholic PI, and
not Russell Crowe.
No,
that's weird to me. That's a weird.
Russell Crowe's actually, he's more the aggressor of it. But like, no, yeah, Ryan Gosling is just this fucking dude. He's his comedic timing in that movie is so good. Also, Ryan Gosling is actually a really good comedic actor. He does deadpan stuff more than anything.
He doesn't do anything for me as an actor.
Man, dude, yeah. What about Drive?
Never seen Drive.
You just aren't watching the right movies. This is like the Colin Farrell for me.
That's what I think. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah. I'm like, what do you mean you don't like Colin Farrell? He has some fucking bangers. Okay, that's fair. That's true. I think it's like he got a bad taste in my mouth. And then
because of The Notebook?
And then anything he's in, it's like the opposite of Christopher Walken. Like anything Christopher Walken, I'll watch in it because I just love watching that guy.
Yeah.
I hear Ryan Gosling's in it, and I'm like, don't care. Don't care. And I think Blade Runner was like the nail in the coffin for me.
Oh, but he's so good in Blade Runner.
That's my Dr. Sleep.
Oh, really?
I tried to watch it like 3 times, and
he just falls asleep all the time.
I'm so fucking bored in that movie.
All right. Well, and then so then going to David R. Not, I just was like, this movie. That's
kind of it.
Yeah.
You're forgetting did you also? There's another writer.
Oh, are you talking about the fucking the other writers? The script doctors they hired?
The one that is the most random. I didn't know she did that.
Carrie Fisher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How weird is that? I was like, I didn't know Carrie Fisher did screenplay stuff.
So this is a thing, and actually I wonder who she was friends with to like kind of get that. So this, before we get into like actors and everything, maybe we should, before we get into the actors, this movie's history with the screenplay and production,
everything
is fucking bonkers.
Advertisements, everything is completely, it's so, everything about the production of this movie is perfect for what the movie is, because the movie is out of its mind bananas bonkers, and everything they did to make it is also high octane level of stress and shit.
So I found this article from Empire Online by Nick D. Semlian that was published back in January of 2012. And it's not a short, I mean, it's not a long article, but it's not a short article. It's not like a 1 or 2 minute read. It was like a 5, 6, 7 minute read. And it goes through, it interviews like O'Brien, what's his name? That plays the kid, Austin O'Brien. Like there's like comments from like Shane Black, from Zach Penn, from John McTiernan, like stories about Arnold being like he's like this, like Arnold kind of had some creative control on this as well.
He was an executive producer.
Yeah. And like so to begin with, this started as a script written by Zach Penn and Adam Leff, and like they were as actually like I think it was Zach Penn, it was inspired by watching an episode of The Simpsons.
I did read that somewhere.
Yeah, so he was watching the one where, because there's a...
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember the action hero's name in The Simpsons, like something Rayner.
Yeah.
And...
I'm not really a big Simpsons fan, so...
I was when I was younger. The earlier stuff was just really... I really enjoyed. But, like, the whole, like, parodying the action genre inside of The Simpsons, Zach Penn was like, yeah.
You can make a movie out of this.
You can make a movie out of this. That's kind of interesting. And... So Zach Penn and Adam Leff went and literally watched like every like Shane Black movie, John McTiernan movie. Like the people that we just listed were the inspiration for this movie of the over the top ridiculousness. And the original script was called
something extremely violent.
Yeah, just extremely violent, which actually you can find online. I wanted to get on. I was running out of... I'm falling down these rabbit holes in this shit, man. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to start watching this movie type thing.
This is that kind of movie.
And apparently, like, it didn't really have so much like the storyline with the kid as much. It was just literally like Jack Slater, or it wasn't Jack Slater, it was Arno Slater. Arno Slater was the original name for...
I mean, we already came up with a better name.
Arnie Schwartzy.
Schwartzy.
Yeah. But, like, they had Arno Slater because it was, like, who was, like... And, yeah. And so they started, like, selling it. Where is it at here? Oh, no, I think that's in the... I tried to take some bullet points out of the Empire Online article, and it was just, like, too much bonkers. But pretty much everything is also kind of right here on this... not IMDb, but Wikipedia page as well, under development writing. But when they got Arnold signed on, they're like, this is fucking insane. They're like, they never imagined that this script was going to go as big as it was with Zach Penn and Adam Leff. And then, where is it? It's like, due to radical changes, Penn and Leff were eventually credited with the story of the film, but not the screenplay, which is unusual for a film based on the original screenplay. But they were replaced by Shane Black and David Arnott. So, and then while Shane Black and David Arnott were on it, they were released, and then script doctors William Goldman, Larry Ferguson, and Carrie Fisher all like had, so like this script like was just going through multiple different like versions.
Yeah, that's multiple lenses basically.
Yeah, like just like the golden ticket wasn't even a part of the original version. Well, the kid wasn't even really part of the original version. No, he was. Because like the idea, that's right. The idea was like thinking like this kid just like magically just fell into the movie somehow.
Well, also in the original script too, they were gonna go Grand Theft Auto with the kid.
Oh yeah,
but they were worried. Like, I love this idea. Okay, so for those unaware, and that's why we're kind of like talking about this. The idea is that the kid has got a crappy life, and then he's gonna be transported to this action movie. And the initial idea was that he was gonna go on like a massacre because the normal rules of society don't apply, and he was just gonna go on like a Grand Theft Auto shooting spree.
Yeah.
And then they all kind of went, that might be a little touchy. Like, yeah, guys, like maybe don't have the 12-year-old go on a killing spree. Maybe, possibly. Like, all right, good job, guys. Good catch.
I'm starting to think maybe we should actually quickly go through the actors before I don't want to like, I feel like I'm backtracking now, but like, because I feel like this is going to lead into talking about the actual movie.
Okay.
So really quick. So I only have,
this is one of those movies I didn't know who to write down because I've actually never seen this.
So you had never seen it before? Yeah.
I know of it, but I
felt like
seen it.
The way that you were kind of like, no, I've seen it, but like, I was like, but I'm like, you would remember this movie.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies like you watch it and you're like, you remember it.
Yeah, like Fallon was like talking about some scenes, and I was like, she's like, oh yeah, and then he does this and this and this, and I was like, sure, I don't know,
yeah,
maybe
because
like,
of how over the top and like meta it is.
Yeah.
And for its time, very much so.
Yeah, like I will remember this movie.
So all right, so starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. If you don't know who that is, he was the governor of California. That's it. That was it.
What's your favorite
Nothing
Arnold?
else.
What's your favorite Arnold movie?
Predator.
Okay. I was hoping for something a little more, but
no, dude, Predator. And maybe this is number 2. Really, like this is really close to it. But yeah, Predator, because I fucking love Predator.
I think my number 1 is Kindergarten Cop.
It's not the tumor.
This is my cookie. Because that's
Let's
like
play a game. Who was your daddy and what did he do?
Yeah, it's like I think it's one of his most like quotable movies. Who's your daddy and what does he do? And I think the next one is Sixth Sense. No. Sorry. The Sixth Day. The Sixth Day. Sixth Sense. You know where he's a really buff ghost. Demi Moore's in it.
There's a scene with him like with a vase, and he pulls a gun out of it.
He pulls a gun out of it. You know, it's great. It's crazy. It's all. Speaking
my love.
Speaking of over the top movies, no, The Sixth Day. Because I like that he does good with the whole like clone 2 of him thing.
Yeah.
He's funny in that. It's not supposed to be funny, but he's like funny.
Oh, I was actually thinking End of Days when he said Sixth Man. So yeah.
But yeah, definitely I think Kindergarten Cop is my favorite Arnold movie.
Man, there's
or Jingle All the Way. That one's really good too.
Dude, there is a plethora of Arnold movies.
It's crazy to think how famous he was.
I know.
He was for like 20 years the guy.
Yeah, about so.
He was like the guy. It was like action movie of the summer. It's gonna have Arnold in it every fucking year for 20 years. Like Arnold, and even now too, he's still kind of leaning into it with like the Expendables and shit. It's like, dude, you're expendable now. Let it go.
I mean, yeah, he definitely doesn't do as much movies. Did you watch Maggie? The one where like his daughter becomes infected as a zombie.
No, I wanted to though because it seemed kind of interesting. It's him older, right?
Yeah, and it's him doing a serious role.
Yeah, fucking Terminator. Like the most recent one, like Terminator.
No, you didn't know I was gonna say that, did you?
This Terminator settles down and has like a family. Like what the fuck is happening in this movie?
And there's zombies now.
Yeah, like okay.
But like he's really good in what's her name? Abigail Breslin? Is that her? No, I can't remember her name. The girl that she's the girl from Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh, I think Abigail. Yeah, I think you're right with Abigail. I can't remember what her name is.
Anyway, but yeah, she plays his daughter in it. But okay, moving forward for the next actor. Next leading actor in it is who plays Danny, the kid, Austin O'Brien.
Who I only really recognized from My Girl 2.
I remember him vaguely I vaguely remember Lawnmower Man.
I vaguely just remember him from his hair. Because he's got
that 90s
he's
that pin the like young
Bob.
Yeah, but it's like the him, 90s Devin Sawa, Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
No, yeah, but it's like the 90s boy Bob.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's like what like all it was like the teenage heartthrob like boy haircut type thing.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember seeing The Babysitter's Club as well.
I had a feeling you would have.
I mean, because I'm just kind of more from that era, yeah. And I don't remember when I watched it, why, but I remember I have seen that movie, and I have a very distinct memory of like him, I think kissing who's supposed to be the tomboy in it, but I might be thinking him kissing the girl from My Girl 2 as well.
I really don't know why they made a sequel to that.
My Girl 2,
yeah,
or My Girl. It was because the first one was such a huge hit. Oh, and that was the 90s. We're like, it's a big hit. Make another one.
Oh, yeah, like make a sequel. Well, because who was it?
We're going to make as much money as we can.
I was just reading an article about that, too, actually. It was just like a lot of the time sequels, because they're easy.
Yeah.
They're easy. You make money off them, and they're easy because people are just going to see them because they're a sequel. I can't remember who was talking about that. I think it was James Gunn.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
It was like sequels are just like an easy thing to do. And I guess who's the third?
Charles Dance definitely, because also there's two on top of Charles Dance. I have two more I want to shout out to. Yeah.
Okay.
Charles Dance won because he is like the bad guy of the movie.
And it's Charles fucking Dance.
I really don't. I mean, I recognize him mostly from Game of Thrones playing Tywin Lannister.
Thank you. I was trying so fucking hard to remember what his name was.
Oh, yeah. Tywin.
Well, because I was like, why don't I know his name? And then I was like, oh, because I feel like a lot of the time they don't say it because it's the kids talking to their father.
Yeah.
So it's like father or nothing at all. Like,
and then I vaguely remember him in Godzilla King of Monsters.
He's the bad guy.
And I don't know what it's like. Yeah, it's like I remember him being that, but I'm like also like I don't.
His whole scheme in that was the monsters are gonna cause the end of the world to reset humanity.
No, it's just it's weird. Like when I was thinking back that movie, it made me realize really how much the humans aspect of it I did not care about.
I think that's like the norm for people.
You know, I was like,
people were annoyed about how much humans were acting. Like, that's not why we're watching this. We're not watching it for the human drama.
Which is because I mean, I remember enjoying the movie anyhow.
And I remember him from Alien 3.
I don't think I can't remember seeing Alien 3. The more I start to think about it, I've only seen clips from Alien 3.
That's okay.
I've never actually seen it all the way through.
When I was playing with that guy, the Alien game, we were as we were killing aliens, we were ranking them.
Oh, nice.
It was pretty fun.
Where is her name? I forgot to write her down, but she plays Whitney. There it is. Bridget Wilson Sampras. She plays Whitney / Meredith. She Jack Slater's daughter. She, I mean, most famously, I think from Mortal Kombat, is Sonya Blade.
That's why I recognized her.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember what I recognized her from.
And she's also in House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
The remake, obviously, not the original Vincent Price one. And then a quick shout out to Tom Noonan in it as well, who plays the Ripper. He's also, I most recognize him from playing Frankenstein's monster from Monster Squad.
Yeah, I recognize his name, but I didn't really recognize a whole lot of his stuff.
Pull up his thing.
Oh, my computer's...
Where are we at? He's also in Manhunter.
He's in RoboCop 2, which I don't think I ever saw.
I think I've only seen the first RoboCop and the third RoboCop.
I think I've only seen the first one and then the first one. You know what I mean, like the reboot. Yeah. I think those.
Oh, that's right. He's one of my favorite villains from an episode of The X-Files. Because how he gets into Mulder's head, and I'm not really recognizing. It's so weird. It's like I recognize it. Like I see him and I'm like, oh, that's Tom Noonan. Like
he's one. It's like the guy with the Irish guy with the scars who you're talking about. Like,
yeah,
he's been in shit forever.
Yeah, but I know his name.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see your point.
I see him and I'm like, oh, that's Tom Noonan, because he's been in a lot of stuff actually, and I guess maybe there's more that I remember seeing him that I just don't fully remember seeing him in.
He's in a movie in the 1980 called Heaven's Gate.
Yeah. I don't fully recall that movie.
I don't know why I brought that up.
Because it sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds familiar. I'm like,
it's one of those movies that it has a following. So like we've read about it or heard about it in places. It's a horror movie.
Isn't that the name of the cult too?
Yeah.
Yeah, Heaven's Gate, right?
Yeah, but it's not about because Heaven's Gate was like later on. The cult
in the
was
90s.
later.
In the 90s, right. Okay.
Yeah. So those are the movies. Or the movies.
Those are the movies.
Those are the movies. Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you. See you later.
All right. So, yeah, let's get back into this craziness of this goddamn movie. And like,
Are we going to do reviews?
Yeah. Do you want to do reviews first and then finish that off? Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Yeah. Go into your reviews.
Ebert, as always, because, yeah. Also, he's always the first one that pops up. Especially for this era. Other movies have also played with the boundaries between reality and cinema. Okay, real quick though, I'm not doing word for word. It was a very long paragraph.
I'm pinpointing.
I'm piecing it together.
Mm-hmm.
So this is kind of, yeah. Other movies have also played with the boundaries between reality and cinema, but they've used the gimmick primarily as a springboard for the stories, for love and action. From beginning to end, the movie is about the gimmick without ever transcending it. Because then he was bringing up stuff like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where it's like, this, like, there's more to it than just, like, and I kind of agree with him. This movie is very gimmicky.
Yeah.
That's what I enjoyed about it.
I think there's something special that happened when John McTiernan and Shane Black came onto it, and that Zach Penn and Adam Leff, I don't think people. There's a certain thing about this movie that I appreciate that a lot of people did not like, and I'll kind of bring it up a little bit, maybe post my review. It's kind of in my review a little bit, but yeah. What else you got?
New York Times Vincent Canby. Let's go with Canby. He can be. Last Action Hero is something of a mess, but a frequently enjoyable one. It tries to be too many things to do to too many different kinds of audiences. The result being it will probably confuse and even alienate the hardcore action fans.
Yeah, I can see that one, because there's definitely in this like Empire Online article that I was reading, there was like moments where like they're talking, like we don't even know what movie we're making. Like John McTiernan's like, I don't know what movie I'm making. Is it a kids movie? Is it an action movie? Is it a comedy movie? Is it a meta comedy? Like what am I making? Because like the script was like changing so much here and there, and like they were like moving at such a lightning speed because they had pressure from the studio to like release it too early and whatnot.
Well, that's even like what he was saying to the director was like, because they had 10 months to make this movie, and he was like quoted saying, "We were arrogant, to think that we could have."
That's
done
in
this.
the Empire Online thing as well. So like I can totally see that, but that's in a weird way that never really distracted. Even like rewatching it like today or like just recently, I felt that, but it didn't pull me out of it. I felt like it in a weird way lent to it. Do you have any more? All right, so I'm just gonna go into my review so we can just get into the shit, get into the thick of it. I don't know, action movies, yeah. All right, action movies. That's actually the first one.
Is that really how it starts?
Yes. Action movies from the 80s and early 90s are remembered for being over the top and ridiculous. Big explosions, one-liners, and of course the hero that can never die or get hurt. It's one of the reasons they are loved by so many people, and it's the main reason why Last Action Hero exists. Designed as a deconstruction and commentary on the action hero genre, Last Action Hero succeeds, in my opinion. In a strange way, the movie leans very hard into the aesthetic and of these action movies while being ridiculous at the same time. Following teenager Danny from our own reality, who is magically transported into the new Jack Slater movie, we watch him break the illusion of the genre by understanding the rules of the movie world, which in turn creates a fun and absurd adventure. When the time comes for our heroes to return to the real world, Jack Slater isn't fully prepared for the stark difference between the two, discovering actual pain. The way the movie juxtaposes the movie world from the real world makes a strong commentary on why we want to find escape in the world of a movie. I personally think this movie was ahead of its time for 1993 and really introduced a side of deconstruction that hadn't been explored in movies just yet, even if it was all by accident. And by accident, I mean the fact that Zach Penn and Adam Leff and Zach Penn getting released from this picture that was completely inspired by watching like Shane Black and John McTiernan movies. Mm-hmm. And then the studio's like, yeah, we're going to bring on Shane Black to kind of like fix up the script and John McTiernan to direct this. So like, okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, like they were thinking like there's even comments where they're like maybe a Robert Zemeckis would be like a better, they were thinking someone that has like a quality of like humor to him, mm-hmm. but like the studio was like, no, this is an action movie. Like this studio didn't understand that it was making fun of action movies.
Yeah,
so they brought on action people to do the action, the deconstructed action movie,
yeah,
to then make it actiony more in like an action sense. But then lent into the actionness of the action deconstructed action. That's what I fucking think. That's why I think this movie turned out the way that it did. I think this movie is actually strangely an accidental piece of genius work. Like I always enjoyed it, and I thought it was more behind the minds of like an actual people. Like this was their whole idea, but just the weird monster this became.
Yeah,
I think is beautiful. And I love it.
I was pleasantly surprised. Do I think it's too fucking long? Yeah, I think it's way too fucking long.
I feel like the pacing of it goes like when I looked, I was like, oh wow, this movie is 2 hours and 10 minutes. Well, let's see how that feels. I just like because it's just shit after. It's like it keeps you going, in my opinion.
No, totally. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with the pacing. I just didn't think this movie needs to be 2 hours long.
Well, I mean, apparently there's actually a note right here. The shooting and editing schedule were so demanding and so close to the June 18th release date that after the movie's disaster, a source close to the film said that they shouldn't have had Siskel and Ebert telling us the movie was 10 minutes too long. Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe it was longer before this as well.
God damn. Why?
I don't know, but like this movie, oh God. So really quick, out of this absurdity that Tommy and I kept talking about, like, of where this movie like was released, there is a quick list. I'm just going to go down and maybe we can just kind of talk about it, as we go through it. So number one, this movie was part of like, there's a chapter dedicated to it in a book written by Nancy Griffin called Hit and Run. And it details like what Sony Pictures was doing in the early to mid 90s on like ruining like scripts and movie like what they were doing and the chapter is called How They Built the Bomb, like the movie bomb, the box office, and it just tears this movie apart. And like through like presented in here's Universal moved Jurassic Park to June 11th 1993, well after Sony had decided on a June 18th release date for Last Action Hero. So Universal purposely put this movie a week in front of Last Action Hero. Mm-hmm. That's pretty much like, hey, we're taking the summer spot. Either move it, but also I think Universal. I guess did they know that Jurassic Park was going to be a big hit?
That's what I was reading. Is that who did Columbia? Who did this?
Sony. Oh wait,
Columbia.
Sony, Columbia, I think they're the same.
Yeah. Well, because Columbia's the lady, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Columbia didn't expect Jurassic Park to become the sensation that it was.
Yeah, even though it's got Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. So they didn't really see it as a threat so much, but they still wanted to stay in that summer box office hit spot. And that's why they were like, cool, you have 10 months
Yeah.
Figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, let's do it. And that's like that whole like him thinking that we were arrogant in being able to make this movie. They were still shooting it a week before its release.
Yeah.
So
that blows my mind how many movies, and like it's more like blockbuster movies, and I think because you got so many wheels or so many cogs in the wheel, like so many people working on so many different things, like how like I feel like filming and everything should be more finished before like a lot of editing gets happening, but it's like as soon as like day one, like okay, this is done, we're wrapped, go put it in, like go get it started editing and whatnot, and then you piece it together like all at the end. I don't know, it makes sense, but it seems like a nightmare to deal with, but you know, those people are used to doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
so
totally.
This is one of my favorite notes about this goddamn thing. The movie was the first to have an advertisement, first and only, I think, placed on a space rocket.
For NASA, yeah, I heard about that.
Which is fucking, they spent so much money to have this advertisement be done for it, and then the launch was delayed 7 months. So this advertisement was just on a fucking rocket for a movie released 7 months prior.
Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Well, just the advertising in general, that huge blow
the
up.
giant Arnold.
Yeah, but remember, did you hear about the whole...
Yeah, there was a bombing at the World Trade Center.
It was the
early.
The first attempt at the...
There's a giant Arnold holding sticks of dynamite.
A gun and dynamite, and they're like, we should probably change that. I'm like, this is such a clusterfuck of a situation.
Oh, man.
And it's all because, again, like, I know I always talk about it, but it's like, I feel like a lot of people involved in this were on cocaine.
Yeah, probably. What do we got here? The film was capsized by a wave of negative publicity after Rough Cut was shown to preview audiences on May Day. Sony then destroyed the test cards, and the word of mouth proved to be catastrophic for the film.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, man.
I just cannot. I don't know the whole idea, because even then it's like the whole fact of an $85 million budget and then followed with 10 months to make it. I'm like, how do you think this was going to go for you?
No, exactly. And like,
you're not making a cute little small film. $85 million. They're expecting a huge fucking production, and the stunts alone, huge production.
I mean, it's a pretty fucking big production.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that's what they're expecting, and you want them to do it in 10 months? Like, what do you think was going to happen?
They did it.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for you though. Are those tar pits real?
The La Brea tar pits?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Is it like? What? Like what? What is in? Like, what kind of tar is that?
It's near LACMA.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the Modern Art Museum of LA. It's like the La Brea tar pits. It's like, if you go to, it's so weird. We were just talking. Oh, that's because we were watching this movie. It's like a natural history museum.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
About like the Ice Age and stuff.
Oh. So like, is it like a natural like pit of tar? Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like bubbling. It's like a hot tar pit.
What happens if you get into it?
You die.
Cool.
That's like, they found like fossils and stuff in it from like mammoths like getting stuck in it and shit.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, like just wandering in. Yeah, you like, that's the whole joke when he gets out of it. They're like, he's like, tar sticks to you.
Yeah, he's like, tar sticks to normal people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally tar sticks to people.
Yeah. It's like, no, it's like, it was, yeah, it's just a natural.
I mean, yeah, I guess like natural tar, or like, is there a difference between natural tar and like tar that's used for the roads or whatnot?
Like,
why am I asking? Tommy Dallum here, tar aficionado.
Yeah, like, from all my construction jobs on the freeway, let me explain it to you. I don't know. Fallon was doing the same thing. I'm like, why do you think I'm an expert on tar? I don't know.
You grew up there.
I've been there. I mean, like, the only thing I remember about the La Brea tar pits is when you go into the museum, there's like a collection of it in this like cylinder, and then there's like a handle on top, and you're supposed to pull it to like really show you how hard it would be to get out.
Oh, that's actually kind of cool.
That's the thing I remember most about it.
So what if I was to put my hand in it? Would I just get sucked in, do you think?
I would love to like try and find some articles about dumbass people that have gotten over the fence and okay, and the La Brea tar pits are in Futurama. Remember they get stuck in it?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Is that a tar dolphin, or worse, a tar shark? Yeah.
All right, let's get back to last
yes,
action.
that is a place.
All right, so really quick rundown of, I guess, what happens in this movie. So yeah, like Tommy was saying earlier, you got young Danny, who he lives in New York, kind of in a shitty neighborhood.
Single working mom.
He's skipping school to go see movies and whatnot. And like we get introduced to Jack Slater at the very beginning of the movie. The movie Jack Slater movies.
So meta.
I know. I love it. That's why I love it. You know my meta. You know I love my meta shit.
It's fucking crazy.
Actually, this movie may have like kind of like really sparked my love for meta.
I'm thinking that it did.
Yeah. And so like, so Danny's big thing is he wants to like go to the real guy, what's his name, Nick, the old man that runs the theater,
the boss from Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, exactly. He's got a special like reel for like the special screening of Jack Slater 4, the new Jack Slater movie, introducing Whitney whatever, who's played by Sonya Blade.
Oh, isn't she the teacher in?
She's a teacher in something. I think
Billy
you're right.
Madison.
Yes.
So hot, want to touch the hiney.
Yes. Oh, let's see what's going on here. Oh, you and the penguin are getting it on.
Oh.
All right. Anyway, so some shit happens where like the kid's apartment gets like robbed because he's trying to sneak out while his mom's gone, and he gets to the police station, and then he has to run over, and he almost missed seeing the movie, and then this is when Nick gives Danny the golden ticket, which apparently has some special magical properties that Houdini put into it. I didn't fully follow that, actually.
Like he got it in India or something. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Houdini had a magical ticket that then gave to Nick's dad, whose dad gave to him.
I think it was implying that's how Houdini was able to do what he did.
Yeah, something like that.
Like the ticket is what actually gave him
the ticket's the magical properties of the ticket is like, why he's able to break out of the, blah.
Teleport into film. I don't know. But I'm like, also like,
what film? Yeah.
What are you talking about? Houdini? Like, what are you talking? What film are you talking about?
Also, like, hey, when you got a bunch of writers just like creating their own shit, that doesn't make sense for this movie.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is that Danny's ticket like starts to sparkle and like electricity blue spiky stuff, and then all of a sudden he's watching the Jack Slater movie, and dynamite comes flying through the screen into the real world.
Mm-hmm.
Which then Danny gets blown into the movie world. Which also, another thing about it, that stick of dynamite blew up in the theater, and then when they came back into the theater,
it was fine.
It was fine, yeah.
The
I never thought about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of... this movie has a lot of weird miscontinuity things.
Yeah,
but it's also...
I'm not expecting it to have those, though,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like, oh... It's like, that's so unrealistic. I remember I said something about that like years ago at a family dinner with a friend about Harry Potter, and they were like, you're really worried about that with Harry Potter? It's a magical world where like dragons and shit, like that's your problem with it? And I was like, fair. It's a fair point.
Yeah, all right, fine. So, hey, you know what? Dumbledore dies.
Yeah, spoiler alert.
So this is kind of like when the meat of the movie kind of starts to begin. Is Danny is now in the action world with Jack Slater, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnie Schwartzy. And Danny is trying to get Jack to understand that this is just a movie. Like, why do you think everything's so ridiculous? Why do you think this happens for you all the time? He's
like basically trying to tell Arnie that Santa Claus isn't real. I thought he was kind of being a dick. I was like, can you not shatter this person's entire reality, please?
Oh, actually, and then like later, yeah.
You're a bully. Leave Arnie alone.
Oh man, where my brain went somewhere. So he ends up like becoming like partners with Arnold. Also, the ridiculousness of like, did you notice like in the background every time that they were driving down the road, there were just car accidents happening everywhere?
Yeah, I did.
It's like as Jack Slater is driving, he's just so reckless, and like nothing ever happens to him, but everything else around him just falls apart.
I feel like you wouldn't have Last Guy without this movie.
Last Guy?
The Last Guy, isn't that what it's called?
Wait, are you talking about Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah.
Free Guy.
Free Guy.
I mean, same writers.
So, no, totally. But it's this movie paved the way for these kind of...
Yes.
Ready Player One. I mean, all these people are involved in these projects, but I'm like, no, like this paved the way, like you said, this paved the way for this ability to do this kind of crazy over-the-top meta cameo thing.
Exactly. And then even like just... It's clear as you're watching and while you're in this movie world, the main character of this world is Jack Slater. Like even the characters, like the people that he's talking to, everything is built around him being the hero.
Yeah.
And also, but it's also, he's the reckless hero. He's like a Riggs from a Lethal Weapon. He's a hot-headed, like loose cannon. Yeah. You know,
loose cannon cop with nothing left to lose.
Exactly.
Kind of type.
He's got his ex-wife on the phone.
Yeah, the whole thing is just...
And like I love like when they're pulling up to the for the funeral, and he literally just like pulls off the freeway through a fence, over the shrubbery, through a pond, and parks into another shrubbery right by the parking lot.
Well, then that's also when he's like starting to like agree. Like kind of like toy with the whole movie thing with the kid.
Yeah, like Danny's starting to like kind of like get him to
Yeah, but like he's like stay in the car. He's like, no, but I can help. He's like, okay, if this is a movie, every time someone says stay in the car, know what happens? He's like, they can help or they get killed. Stay in the car.
He's like, but what if staying in the car gets me killed?
Yeah, it was just like there's some weirdly cute, funny moments in this. Walking into the apartment.
Yeah, it just shoots the
closet.
How'd you know he's gonna be in there? There's always somebody.
In there.
Which it's so ridiculous. Like it has like weird like moments like that it's very much aware of what it is, but then you have moments of like where it's like the absurdity is built in a world of reality, which is where like the John McTiernan and Shane Black stuff I feel came from.
Yeah.
Or like the I keep forgetting their names. Zach Penn and Adam Left stuff is like he turns and shoots his closet. That's Adam Left and Zach Penn, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, oh, of course there's somebody in there. There's always somebody in there. But then, like, at the beginning of it, when the Ripper has his kid, and he's like, come on, just throw your piece down, Slater. You think that's the only... You know you got more guns than that. And it's like that fucking Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
Oh, Keira Knightley.
Yeah, the over-the-top, like, has fucking too many, like, gun... Like,
yeah.
Gun weapons on him and whatnot, but it's filmed like almost super serious. Like
the intro to this movie is very bizarre.
Yeah, it's filmed very seriously as opposed to like like Naked Weapon, like really on the nose, like make it like hilarious, seem funny. That's the thing that I think makes this movie special in its own way, is that the comedy was taken seriously.
Yeah,
like in a weird way. It's like it somehow it sucks the comedy out, but it then makes it realer. Like it makes it seem like this action. It makes it seem like it's an actual action movie that just lives in this over the top world.
Yeah,
you know. Even though there's an animated cat voiced by Danny DeVito.
Saves the day randomly.
No, it's a Deus Ex Machina, because like Jack Slater, he has like there's always something that's going to save him.
Yeah,
you know, because he's the hero.
Yeah.
So yeah, where was I with all of that? So yeah, Danny and Slater are now they're gonna. Also I love the lieutenant's like, that's your new partner. It's like the kid's not even he's like 13 years old, and the lieutenant's like, meet your new partner, Slater. Like it's so ridiculous. And then he's like, oh, I know where the bad guys are at. They're in that house.
Yeah.
And then they really kind of introduce Benedict and really how clever. He's one of my favorite movie villains, actually. Benedict is.
The cheap Alan Rickman.
Cheap Alan Rickman? Excuse me, sir.
No, that's like a thing.
No, he was based off of Alan Rickman from Die Hard.
But they tried to hire Alan Rickman.
Oh, I didn't know that, actually.
They were going to hire Alan Rickman to be the bad guy, but he was too expensive, so then they dropped down.
Oh, man.
So when he showed up on set for the first time, he was wearing a T-shirt that says, I'm cheaper than Alan Rickman.
That's hilarious.
So yeah, he's the cheap Alan Rickman, because Alan Rickman was just too expensive at the time.
That would, because like with they
Which
got
also,
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I'm like, how much was his price tag if you have an $85 million budget?
I mean, think about like Arnold's probably like $40 million of that or something. You know, Arnold probably had a huge price tag, and like they probably just couldn't have much more budget for. But he's great in it. I
don't get his eye.
They never explain it.
No, but like there's like a scene where he like, it's like right when he gets the ticket, he like takes out his eye to change it. Like, you know, takes out his glass eye to put another glass eye in, but he has an eye.
Oh, he had one in his hand and he like...
No, but you can see his eyes. His actual eyes.
I thought he switched one out.
No, he like just took it out and then did he? I don't know.
Because he's taking it out and then it looked like it was like a weird like he pulled one out and then put one in.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that like a huge? Because I'm like, it wasn't a quick second that you're looking at him. Like you're looking at him for a minute.
Also, I do want to say, like, I love with Benedict, like when he's in the movie world, he breaks the fourth wall. And he's staring into the camera doing his speech, which is it's a very like almost like Shakespearean. It's Iago does it in Othello, and it's just like in a weird way. It's like he's a man. It doesn't make sense for the rules of what the world that they've already created, but it makes sense for this movie that is just like. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's like, who is he narrating to by himself? Oh, but it's still the movie, and we're watching the movie now. So, like, now we're in on the joke.
Yeah.
You know? And also, what is he... I forget what his quote was, but it's also a really cool quote, in my opinion. Something about God.
Oh, if God was a villain, he'd be me.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Or I'd be him, or something like that.
I think he'd be me.
He'd be me.
All right, so pretty much like I guess like through a lot of this is like Danny is trying to get just Jack Slater to understand that this is a movie.
Yeah.
And then the golden ticket gets stolen, and that's when Danny realizes like, well, we need to get the ticket back from Benedict
because Benedict now is in the real world.
Mm-hmm. So I forget exactly how that gets led up to it though.
What do you mean?
Like. So the funeral happens. They stop the bomb from going off from the fat guy.
And then Benedict kills his boss, his Italian mob boss, and then decides randomly to go into the real world.
Oh, that's right. So like when like they go to like get Benedict and they're at the place, Danny finds the spot where Benedict was able to go into the real world.
Yeah.
Like he has like some weird portals open, and Jack Slater's like, wait, what the fuck is this? And so then they enter into the real world, and then Slater is no longer a hero.
He's just a dude. He's
now
he's Arnie Schwartzy.
Yeah, exactly. And like they're chasing after Benedict, and he like punches the window of a car to like break into it and whatnot. He's like, "Wow, my hand really hurts." It's like, yeah, because in the real world you're gonna feel pain.
Yeah. And then we get to the meta really hits hard. We get to the premiere of the Jack Slater movie,
Jack Slater 4. Yeah.
At what is that theater called?
I forget.
I can't remember what the theater's called.
I forget. Oh yeah, because this is New York now.
Yeah, I can't remember what that theater's called. But so they go to the.
Well, really quick, before they start going to the premiere, Benedict is realizing that he's from a movie, and he's like, oh, the bad guys can win here type thing. And he's starting to realize, like, I can bring every movie villain into this world, and I can control this world. I can do what I want, and I can just pull out these people, like these characters from movies for distractions type thing.
Well, like when he's having this whole conversation, he's coloring in an ad on a newspaper for Dracula, and I was so hoping like Gary Oldman would make some fucking random ass cameo as Dracula. I was like, I don't think he'd do that.
No. And well, I mean, so what Benedict Wong, that's not right. What Benedict ends up doing is bringing in the Ripper from Jack Slater 3 into the real world, so then the Ripper can get his revenge on Jack Slater in the real world, because in the real world, the villains have more power.
Yeah. It's not
quote
written,
unquote.
It's not written that they're going to always lose.
Exactly.
So it becomes a big scheme now is that if they can't kill Jack Slater, they're going to kill Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And if Arnie Schwartzy dies, then there is no Jack Slater.
Yeah, which is meta. Yeah, they get to this premiere.
It's like Marty McFly getting erased from existence.
Yeah, and then this is where Arnold Schwarzenegger really pulled in his. This is like also kind of a testament to how famous he was.
Yeah.
A lot of these cameos are him pulling them in,
Yeah.
being like, hey, because you have MC Hammer, you have Little Richard, you have Chevy Chase, you have Whitney Houston, I think was in it for a second.
No, Tina Turner.
Was it Tina Turner?
It was Tina Turner.
It's Tina Turner in it.
Yeah. Who else?
Who was Tina Turner? Was she in the premiere or was she?
She was in the premiere.
Yeah, she was at the premiere. Because there's someone else.
There's his actual wife.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot.
It's like insane. It's fucking
There's an absurd amount of just quick cameos.
Yeah.
Just for this premiere, but
it's like, and that's the thing too. It's so quick. Mm-hmm. It's almost unnecessary.
Yeah.
Like Tina Turner, Chevy Chase, you barely see. You see them for a split second. MC Hammer, you see for a split second.
A quick line.
Yeah. Like he doesn't even say anything. He's just there. It's like fucking Zoolander.
That's probably also like the movie probably like went up like with those cameos went up in price. Like
100%. Like they're not gonna do it for free.
Maybe some of them did, out of favor for Arnold.
Yeah, like if they're actual friends. Yeah.
I mean, they also a lot of them could be like, yeah, it's definitely being like Arnold because this is also like it was this movie was a surprising big flop because it's just coming off of Terminator 2, which made him one of like again one of the biggest action stars. Like he had always like he's been like from Commando to Predator and whatnot, but he was kind of like he did his like comedy stuff, and then he came back and did Terminator 2.
He has a weird history of like comedy, action movie, comedy, action movie, comedy,
so like
comedy action movie.
It's supposed to be like his like resurgence as the action star again.
Yeah,
and then he went to True Lies after this, and
so on and so forth.
But yeah, so this premiere is just insane, and there's like we're forgetting. There's a moment with Jack Slater when like he's actually realizing how that he's a fictional character and how everything he's ever like he himself like he's just made up.
Yeah.
Like everything about him is false type thing. And just like that he's having an existential crisis pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
like through like the second half of this, or the last part of this movie. Lo and behold, like, so they get on the ceiling. They get on the roof with the Ripper, and the Ripper kind of does like a whole thing of like trying to kill the kid. And Arnold actually saves the day in the real world. And then Benedict comes back and shoots Jack Slater.
I do. I liked when Arnold and Jack had their interaction.
Oh yeah, that's right. When Arnold tackles Jack Slater,
like you're the best lookalike I've ever seen. Like, that's crazy. If you ever make it to L.A., let me know or whatever he said.
You've made my life a living hell.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then like Benedict, like they end up. The kid ends up shooting. No, Jack Slater shoots Benedict in the eye.
I was very curious about that because he did pick up the gun. I was like, I think the kid kill the bad guy, but no, he gets the gun to the hero so he can save the day, basically. And
Benedict explodes because apparently all of his eyes have explosives in them. Because because one of his eyes actually blew up a house. Yeah, I forgot about that. I was wondering. I was like, it was one of those like I just took it though when it happened. I was like, it's interesting. Sure. Is like how like I felt like. It was interesting that they let the ridiculousness over the top idea of movies go into the real world as well a little bit. Yeah. But I felt like it was only happening with the characters that were already from the over the top movie world. Yeah. So it kind of like it weirdly like it was like the magical properties came with them a little bit, but not all of it because I can feel pain. But we kill Benedict and he explodes. And then Arnold's Jack Slater's bleeding out, so they gotta get him to the movie world because in the movie world this would be just a flesh wound because he's the hero and can't die. And then fucking Ian McKellen as Death, Sir Ian McKellen shows up. One of the most pointless things that like literally nothing that achieved nothing in the movie. No, like Ian McKellen playing Death, walking from Seventh Seal, like. It was awesome. Just walking down this, like, kills a cop because he's smoking, and then like goes to like, oh, I was just curious. Nope, and you, Danny, you're gonna live to be a grandfather. Yeah, it was. And then he knows about the magical properties of the ticket somehow to have Danny go find the other half of the ticket because the other half blew up with like Benedict.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Oh no, it fell down.
It fell and whatever.
So it's like, and all of a sudden, like Death is like, well, if I was, you're awfully brave, but not very bright. I would look for the other half of the ticket.
It's like that whole thing. That whole thing could have been the owner of the theater coming down and then realizing, oh, I took the other half of the ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you didn't need that at all, like in any way, shape, or form.
They just wanted to bring in another magical movie element.
Yeah, like it was just really like, okay.
And then they get Jack Slater back in, and an emotional moment with Danny's like, no, but I can't do life without you, Jack. And Jack's like, I'll always be there for you.
And then they get him back into the movie world, and of course it's a flesh wound, and he's fine. And then, but now Jack understands that he's the hero of his own story.
Yeah.
So he's getting yelled at by the angry,
the lieutenant,
the angry black. I think my favorite. I was laughing at that scene a lot just because it made me think of 21 Jump Street.
Yeah, that's very.
I know what you're thinking, right? Stereotype. Well, I am black and I am angry. He starts screaming at them, like the angry black lieutenant screaming at him, and like gibberish and steams coming out of his ears. And, like,
it won't be. Yeah.
Fucking Looney Tunes like segment.
Did you get any of that? No.
I think it's English. But then he like tells off his lieutenant about him being the hero of his story, and then winks
at the camera.
And
there's Danny being like eating popcorn. Yeah. And then it ends with Jack Slater driving his car off into the sunset, waving goodbye. Last action hero.
Oh yeah, and then AC/DC song they made for this movie, Big Gun.
Yeah.
Another ridiculous pull.
Oh yeah, all the music, the soundtrack of this movie in general.
Yeah, like it's, but I just like Arnold wanted an AC/DC song, but didn't want to pay for the rights to one that was already known, so he asked them to write him a new one.
So he commissioned them to write one.
He commissioned AC/DC to make a theme song for this. It's fucking bonkers.
Oh man, yeah. This movie is. It's really not the best movie. It does live in like there's moments of it where like, wow, that kind of like I can see where like, oh, the edit they edited it this way because they probably just didn't film the right footage or something and whatnot. But I think it's not a masterpiece. It's a masterpiece.
It's very fun.
It's super fun. I think it's kind of a hidden gem. In a way, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I feel like it probably, if it was to be re-released today, I think it would have a bigger following. Because like
100%,
the humor and like the whole deconstruction idea of the action. I mean, we've gotten so many like satires or like deconstruct, like Not Another Teen Movie or Epic Movie or superhero movie. You know, like all of these movies are because of the ideas of this movie. You know? Like. Being like deconstructing the genre and making a comedy out of it. But what's interesting is, like I said, when you get Shane Black and John McTiernan like start realizing the film in more of a way, then you somehow get this weird. It speaks differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel that. What would you give it, a Mogwai?
I definitely give it a Mogwai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a Mogwai. Or is this more of like a Gizmo? Not Rambo Gizmo, but just Gizmo. I think a Rambo Gizmo is like perfect.
That's like super good.
Yeah. I think a Gizmo. I'd give it a Gizmo.
Yeah. Yeah. For me personally, yeah, definitely.
I would too. I really thought I was going to hate this movie, but I found myself weirdly enjoying it.
There's also, I think, out of all of the ridiculousness of this movie, I think the most ridiculous part was after like they're in the ex-wife's house and they just shot up everybody and Benedict's getting away, and then Arnold jumps off the edge and starts like handspringing down off of people's balconies, head over foot, down an LA hill.
That was
just
awesome.
Perfectly catching himself. Like I'm like, that is so ridiculous and over the top. Like that was very much from like the original screenplay, in my opinion.
Totally. I think so. Is that like your favorite over the top?
It's one of them.
I think my favorite is just how he's killing all the people in his daughter's apartment.
Oh, that's great too.
It's like straight up Zombieland kill of the week.
Yeah.
I think he's like
When he pulls off the
he electrocutes the guy, so the dead guy pulls the trigger and kills the other guy. I was like, what the fuck? The fuck is going on?
I feel like a lot of those action sequences of like how over the top they were, those are probably like original script from like Adam and Zach.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I kind of want to find. I mean, the Extremely Violent, their original script is free online.
You actually want to check it out?
I do want to check it out. I'm also curious. I wonder if it's like shorter too. You know what I mean?
Especially because you were saying the kid dynamic wasn't really there.
Yeah,
there was just things not in
I mean,
it.
the kid dynamic was there, but the relationship with Nick and that whole thing wasn't there. I don't think there was any story with his mother or anything. But I mean, there's also little things like that make the movie more relatable in its own way. You know what I mean? Like it makes Danny more of a character that you care about.
Yeah. Well, that's why they did that.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
But then, I mean, maybe that didn't need, depending on what Adam and Zach's first script was, maybe it didn't need to be in there. Also, I do want to say this is what I want the next, if they do one, the next Jumanji movie to kind of be like. The second part of it is that, like
deconstruction of video game kind of thing.
Yeah, because with them already, like, they've gone into the video game and they've like done that whole thing, but then like there's ostriches running down the street at the end of that one.
So yeah, and that's like I mean that was really a lot of like an homage to the original one though.
Yeah,
about the creatures coming out.
Yeah, but like so if the creatures are coming out, I would be interesting if like Dwayne Johnson's character and Karen, like they actually enter into the real world, and now they have this idea of that their like video game powers are there, but they're not there because they're in the real world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Like suddenly Kevin Hart doesn't remember like everything.
He's not. He's
not a zoologist.
Or maybe he does remember those things, but it's like harder to remember. I mean,
I guess if you're gonna go with that, it would be like the backpack wouldn't be like pulling out weapons. Like it would just be an empty backpack.
Yeah,
because you'd still need to have them keep some kind of skill to help with whatever the conflict's gonna be.
But yeah, that's kind of what I hope that if they do make another one, that they're gonna make another one. I feel like there's gonna be one more. Yeah, they're gonna.
So. But I think this is a definite recommendation. Again, like we always say, like certain people probably are going to hate it, but I really enjoyed it, and I think I would recommend it to people.
I mean, I don't think people would hate. I don't talk to anybody that I think would hate this movie.
You heard it here first. You're no longer Jacob's friend.
No, but like, there's definitely people that I don't think would that I think would be like, okay, that was a thing.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody would really hate this movie. You know what I mean?
It weirdly reminds me a lot of Demolition Man.
I can see that.
The over-the-top aspect to it.
But I mean, but Demolition Man is just like one of those over-the-top action
movies.
Yeah,
totally. But it's just like, it's also because I think Demolition Man came out in 98.
No, it's like 95.
Really?
94, 95, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was younger.
96 at the latest.
Oh, okay. But yeah, it's that era of that. And
exactly.
And it's the not Arnold, it's Sylvester Stallone. Like... In that time, you got one of them.
That's a great moment when they go to the movie store and he's trying to prove that Arnold that he's a movie star, and it's Sylvester Stallone in Terminator 2.
Yeah,
and then Arnold's like, "What's one of his best performances so far?" It's like he's just jerking himself.
Yeah,
off
it's very Ready Player One Spielberg kind of jerk off session happening.
But yeah, Mogwai.
No, Gizmo.
Gizmo. It's Gizmo.
Bye bye, Billy.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Subscribe, share, do that stuff.
Bye, Danny. That was his name, right, Danny?
Yeah. So.
Bye bye, Danny.
All right. Yeah, like, subscribe, share with your friends. Join us next week. We're not sure what we're doing, but you'll find out in our promos.
We'll be talking about something.
Yeah, you'll find out in our promos once we figure it out.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for checking in.
This is Tommy.
This is Jacob.
This is Tommy and Jacob's mixtape.